Hey coders, in this video we're going to cover the last two bubbles of lesson 13, linking screens. So on Friday we went through all the bubbles. Again, in order to get credit, all your bubbles should be green by clicking the finish button. And today I'm going to show you an example of how to combine things from the previous lesson. Okay, so in I believe bubble 12 or 13, so let's go ahead and open up bubble 13. So on bubble 13, it says right here, now that you had some practice importing screens, we're going to go ahead and import screens on your own and collect them. Now, originally this project was supposed to be done in groups or partners, but because we're working by ourselves, we're just going to move uh, our designs from the other one. So you guys notice here that I have no screens in my design tab or code. There's nothing new here. Okay, so we're going to use the feature again to import. Okay, so there's import right here. So I'm going to go back to the previous lesson where I designed my screens. So I believe it's bubble 13 on lesson 12. So let's go ahead and click on bubble 12 or bubble 13 of lesson 12. Okay, so these are my screens. I have a start screen. It doesn't look like this. Oh yeah, I was gonna make a screen uh, for importing new screen. Oops. Um, so I have a home page here, and I have a choose three items. Okay, just a template of what it's gonna ultimately look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and import these screens. Okay, so I have this screen, I have this screen, and I have this screen. Um, let's just for the sake of this, uh, go ahead and put a just a quick text area or something so you guys can see. I believe it was called sufficient software or something. And suppose that this is my fancy label and stuff. It's not, but um, let's assume that it is. I took some time to make it. It looks something like this. Okay, so this is my start screen and whatnot. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to bubble 13. So in bubble 13, it says, okay, each member of your team is going to create their own app with blah, 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 collecting all the shared URLs and team pages, including your thing, and then we're going to import it. So over here, suppose that I want to import these all three pages all at once. How do I do this? You're going to click on this share button up here. You're going to take the URL, copy it. You're going to go back to this page. You're going to go to import, and we're going to type in the URL. Once you input the URL, it says, well, what screens do you want to import? And we're going to import all three of them. Okay. So now in lesson 13, I have the same tabs as lesson 12. So it's that easy. Okay. So in lesson 12, it's here. In lesson 13, it is now here. All the tabs are here. So let's go ahead and talk about, now that we have all the tabs, let's go ahead and delete the default screen one. So inside screen one, this is the default one that was created. I'm going to delete that. Sure. And now I have the exact same three screens that I had from lesson 12. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and set the sufficient software as the main screen. You do that by, where is that option? So here, um, let's see, where is the default option under events? Nope, start screen, delete. Okay, let's go to home page. Let's go to choose three. Let's go to start screen. Start screen ID. So the start screen is already the default screen. So if I hit run right now, sufficient software is already the default. Okay, so I don't have to actually make it the default. If yours is not, make sure you click on this button right here. So if your start screen is not the default, you will see a button right here that makes it the default. Okay, so for me, my screen is already the default, so I don't have to do anything more for this bubble. Now let's go to the last bubble, bubble number 14, and teach you guys how to link it. Okay, so we're gonna start coding, some things to go from one to the next. Okay. All right. So in my screen, we have no buttons for sufficient software. I believe the prototype that I was using just says something like hit any key to uh, to go to the next screen, and all my other screens have actual buttons like about us, research how to play, play, and then choose three button is the play button. So and this should go to the results, and I guess I should have a button that says back home. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so for sufficient software, right? This is like a start screen that really has no buttons. I believe the prototype, and let me actually bring up the prototype so that you guys see what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and open up another code.org. So I'm just trying to copy the prototype that's already created by the lesson. It gave us I'm sorry, it should be inside our website. Let's see, where was that assignment? Interactive lesson, prototype brainstorming. Yeah, so something right here. So you can see the prototype right here. There was no button. It was just like a tap the screen. So tap the screen and it would go to this page. So teach you guys how to do that. So we're gonna do an on event. Okay. So on event ID. Well, I don't. What ID am I looking for? So basically anything on this start screen. So my ID is actually start screen. And if anyone clicks on the start screen, I'm going to use set screen to the next screen. So what screen do I want to click to? The home page. So it's literally, let's see if I can enlarge it for you guys to see. It's literally basically two lines of code. On the event that someone clicks on the start screen, go to the home page. So go ahead and hit run. So if I click on this anywhere on the screen, it will go to the next page. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next one. So let's assume I'm on the home page. When I'm on the home page and I want to click my most important page, which is the choose three items screen, I would click on the play button or the play label. So yours would probably be a button. Mine is going to be a label because I'm going to make this into a pyramid and it's going to look pretty. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect to the how to page. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do an on event. So I'm just going to drag the on event in case you don't remember how to type it. On event that someone clicks on this button, this play button or play label, I can go to the play screen. So if I did this correctly, it should be home page play button. So if I did it correctly, and actually if you delete this, it'll show you all of your if you delete the double quotes, it'll show you all of your buttons and labels. And I have a home page that says home page play button. So if someone clicks on the home page play button, do this. And all I'm going to do is set screen, but not to home page, to, oh, I had it. Let's go ahead and put it back. Double quote, delete the double quotes. Okay, I'm going to click on choose 3 items screen. Technically, I should have called it the play screen, but that's neither here or there. Go ahead and hit run. So my sufficient software screen is my tap to continue. I click tap. It goes, what is for lunch? And these buttons will navigate to their own page. But the most important page is the play page. I click on the pay page. It'll say choose 3 items and then click submit. So obviously I'm going to need to write code to take those 7 pictures and drag them into the box. And once the player hits submits, they should see their results. So I didn't obviously finish programming this, but you guys get the idea. So let's suppose I make a couple of screens real quickly. I'll make a results page, and then after that, a back to home button so that we kind of link it all back together. So if you can imagine it, let's go ahead and make this easier to see. So I'm going to make a new screen, and it's going to be called the result page. Let's see, what's my naming convention? So I've been using homepage, start screen. Actually, I should do a better job of naming these pages too. Let's go ahead and call it results. Okay, results screen. Okay, and it's gonna have the same idea. Let's go ahead and pick a quick label or something. Let's go ahead and enlarge it. Something like that. Okay, it's gonna say results. It's gonna be centered. Go look for alignment here, text alignment. Let's go to center. Let's make it way bigger. Let's change the text to something like this is result screen. The text will say results or your score. I think the prototype says uh, choose 3 items, click this. It will go to your score is. Okay. So your score is play again and then back to home. Okay. So I'm going to kind of create 2 buttons here. Let's go with a button right here and a button right here. And it actually should not say results. It should say your score is like that. I believe based on the prototype. It says your score is all in one line. So let's go ahead and decrease the size. Again, you have to be this particular, but I just like drawing things in a prototype because if that's how I imagine it in my head, that's the way I want it to look. So your score is, and it's going to be a button. So 1 button, and if we're doing the naming convention correctly, is we're on the results screen. So results is the name of the screen, and then you're gonna make the name of the button, whatever this button again. And it's gonna be the play again button. Okay, and it's gonna say play again. Okay, and I can make it bigger or whatever. Let's go ahead and take the other button, and it says back to home. So we're gonna go. This button is on the results page, and it says back home button. Okay, looks like a good name. And the text will say back to home. Okay. So I'm going to figure out, of course, some code to figure out how the score is going to be generated. Again, you're not creating the code that's going to have numbers or that does some processing. We're just creating the links between the pages. Okay. So now that I'm done with this page, let's go ahead and figure out how do I get here. Okay. So on this page, on the choose 3 item page, eventually they're going to hit the submit button once they're done dragging and clicking these pictures. So we're going to click the submit button, and that means another on event command. So on event, okay, that this button gets chosen. So if I can find it, it's the choose 3 items submit button. So you can see right here, my naming convention tells me find it, choose 3 item submit button. If they click on the submit button, what do? Well, I'm going to set screen. So I can start typing in now, set screen to the result screen. So you can see that these are just very simple pieces of code that helps us navigate from one page to the other. So now suppose I'm at the result screen. If I'm at the result screen, there's ultimately 2 buttons. So on event, if I click on the play again button, it's going to relink me back to uh, the choose 3 item page like I did over here. Or if I choose the back to home button, it's going to go like over here. So I'm actually going to be smart here and go ahead and copy the code here, paste it here. But I do want to go back to the choose 3 items again, but not because the home page button is pressed, but because the result play again button is pressed. So basically this code is the same as this code, except that it has the result play again button. And back to home is kind of like this. I want to go to the home screen, but not from the start screen this time, but on the um, back to home button on the result screen. So result screen, back to home button. Okay, and that's it. So with only about less than 10 lines of code, I created the link between these 4 pages. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of run through the software again. So this is kind of like my home page, sufficient software. I'm going to left click. It says, what is for lunch? I can click on this, which doesn't do anything. This, it will lead me to another page. This, how to play. So these pages I'm going to ultimately create and design, but ultimately I'm going to click the play button. So when I'm done playing, I'm going to choose 3 items. I'm going to drag the 3 items into this imaginary box, and then I'm going to hit submit. It says your score is, and I'm going to figure out some code to design what the score is going to be. Then I'm going to click on either play again, which lets me choose 3 different items to try to improve my score, hit submit. But ultimately, when I'm done playing and I maximize my score, I'm going to click back to home, and it's going to go back to what is for lunch. And that's pretty much the app. I mean, now with a bunch of these, I just got to create 4 buttons for these, or 4 different screens for these, 4 different buttons that go back to the home page. And I basically have all the navigation of this What is for Lunch app. And then I just need to make basically some code inside here that determines, based on what item they dragged into the box to turn in their software. So we'll teach you how to do that in a later example. But go ahead and take the time to connect all your screens together with code. So this should only take you today. It shouldn't take you longer than that. It's relatively easy to do. All you're doing is not making code for anything. You're just making sure that all the buttons lead you to where you want to go. So I taught you how to click on the screen using start screen here. I taught you how to go to a different page by clicking on one of the labels or buttons. Okay, even though mine's a label, I click on the play, right? It will lead you to another screen. So, whatever your algorithm does, you can write that code separately. But let's say you want to click submit to go to the results. I go to the results now. On the result page, I have 2 buttons. I can either play again, which brings me back to here, the choose 3 item page. Now I can click on this button to go back to the result page. And then eventually when I'm done, I'm going to hit the back to home button and then it will go back home. So very quick code to navigate between your screens. It should not take you very long. I'll go and give you today for that to be your assignment. And then you'll be done. Okay. You'll be done with linking your screen. Okay. That's all for this video. I'll see you guys later.